week on CNBC, New York City Mayor Eric Adams addressed his upcoming loosening of the city's vaccine mandate, which would allow unvaccinated Kyrie Irving to enter the Barclays Center for games but not play. Adams saying this, listen, I want Kyrie on the court. I would do anything to get that ring. So badly I want it, but there's so much at stake here. It would send the wrong message just to have an exception for one player when we're telling countless number of New York City employees, if you don't follow the rules, you won't be able to be employed. Let me just say this, Stephen A. This is when I am grateful I'm the host teeing up the question and not a debater. This is a difficult one.
It's not.
It's so difficult.
Allow me to
okay,
explain.
tell me why it's not.
Allow me to explain. Mayor Adams, first of all, if anybody hasn't seen SNL spoof Mayor Eric Adams, you need to get Chris Red. It's spectacular.
No. I've seen them spoof you.
Yeah, they were good with me, and especially Michael Irving. Keenan Thompson was hilarious with Michael Irving. That was a mala. I mean, that was hilarious, okay? Keenan Thompson was spectacular. But this kid, Chris Red, doing Eric Adams, it's the funniest stuff that I've seen all year.
They're geniuses on that.
Having said all of that, Mayor Eric Adams, who I like, I'm not casting any aspersions with you with what I'm saying. Please don't take it. You're welcome to come on the show anytime. I'm happy to have you on First Take, sir, to discuss this issue. Nobody's asking you to make an exception for Kyrie Irving. We're asking you to eradicate the rule because it's a stupid rule. That's why. There's no debating this. You are a visitor, so you are allowed to come to the Barclays Center and play. But if you happen to play at the Barclays Center as your home court, you can't play. So if Kyrie Irving had gotten traded to the Philadelphia 76ers, okay, instead of James Harden, Kyrie Irving could play at the Barclays Center. But Kyrie Irving, the member of the Brooklyn Nets, can't play at the Barclays Center. I don't get that. Kyrie doesn't get that. Commissioner Adam Silver doesn't get that, along with a host of other people. It's a stupid rule, plain and simple. And when you talk about people, you talk about medical workers and law enforcement officials and stuff like that. They're city employees. I still don't like the rule. I still don't. But when you talk about indoor restaurants, indoor facilities, and a laxing of the rules, then it should be laxed for an indoor facility like the Barclays Center, especially when the rule is not applicable to visitors inside the Barclays Center. It makes no sense. I can't believe that I have to sit up here and defend Kyrie Irving, but he deserves to be defended. Kyrie Irving, me and his decision-making, always finding an excuse to be off of work in his career, I stand by that. I haven't changed that position. But that has nothing to do with this situation. Kyrie Irving is a victim. Kyrie Irving is being screwed over because of a rule that is not applicable to his contemporaries from different cities who happen to come visit the Barclays Center. That is why, Eric Adams, we are asking you to change the rule. We're not asking you to change the rule for Kyrie Irving. We're asking you to change a rule that evidently isn't applicable to other people visiting the Barclays Center. You're either all in or you all out. If the rule is in place, the rule should be applicable to visitors coming to that place, not just for people who reside in that place. It makes no sense.
Monica, can I ask you a question? I get that the rules are double standard, but at the same time, do you get where Mayor Eric Adams is coming from, where this could send the wrong message? Even if the rule is bogus, it looks like, hey, we're making an exception for this multimillionaire athlete, and how that would look to the rest of New Yorkers who have been sacrificing.
Yes, Molly. I understand Mayor Adams pointing out an exception, but I do agree with Stephen A. in that it's not necessarily an exception that's being asked for. The qualm is that the rules should be done. Now, I was struck by this idea of public versus private sector, and quite honestly, it was a bit confusing for me. As I understand it, it maintains that Kyrie is an employee, and so the mandate still applies to employees of businesses here in New York. But to me, on a very base level, at this point, if he's allowed to be in the gym, he should be allowed to play in the gym. And when we talk about fitness gyms for the average person, if there's no longer a vaccine check at the door and so on and so forth, and businesses are being allowed to proceed Now we're getting into what are we doing? And I will admit, Molly, that initially I was able to make the argument or had the capacity to understand the idea of folks that exist in New York on a daily basis, whether they are residents or people that work here 9 to 5, 5 days a week. The idea that if we can get people that live here to abide by the rule, we can protect ourselves and tourism be what it may. But now, if Kyrie's allowed to be present, I don't understand why he's not allowed to play, particularly because the NBA is still testing, as I understand.
Well, again, that's your position, and I respect it. My position, as far as I'm concerned, is far more profound. You're allowing visitors to come into. Listen, think about it this way, y'all. If I live in New York City, right?
Yeah.
And Eminem and Molly Q and Stephen A decide to go out to dinner, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, according to New York, if you reside in that place in New York City, you can't come to the restaurant with us because you ain't vaccinated. But if you a visitor, you can join us. Now, how stupid is that?
I think their thought process behind it, I get that it's totally bogus. Even Adam Silver said it was bogus, was because you're only here for a short amount of time.
I understand
so they
that.
don't think that contamination will happen.
I understand that. But the point of the matter is we've learned listen, I came down with it. Ain't nobody gonna tell me anything. You don't need multiple bites at the apple to get COVID, okay?
Yeah.
All it takes is one shot. Okay, this is why people insist on masks while we're on the airplanes, for example. Because you know you want to do whatever you can to protect, because you know all it takes is that trip on a plane for you to get contaminated. I don't want to hear, well, it's a visitor as opposed to somebody at home. So it's the difference. The fact of the matter is, get rid of the rule. At this point, it's utterly stupid, particularly when the mandate has been laxed to some degree in the public sector at the very least. The bottom line is you got Kyrie Irving, who deserves to be playing at the Barclays Center because you're willing to allow visitors to play at the Barclays Center, even if they're unvaccinated. That is the principled position, and Kyrie Irving is being screwed over on this.
I'm with you. I think it's so bogus. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, I can sympathize and empathize with Mayor Eric Adams because he's just scared of things falling on his shoulders.
I'm not blaming him.
God
He
forbid.
wants to hold the line. Yeah.
It's not just that. It's not his fault.
Numbers ever rose again. I understand where he's scared.
In fairness to him, he didn't invoke the mandate.
Yeah.
That was his predecessor, okay, who I don't even want to talk. I don't even talk about him for various different reasons, okay? But Eric Adams, we'll see what he does. I got faith in the brother. I'm not excoriating him. I'm just simply saying, now that we are here, we're here. Stop with this nonsense. Get rid of this nonsensical stuff. Get Kyrie back in the Barclays Center so the citizens of Brooklyn can finally get to see what they deserve to see instead of visitors coming into the Barclays Center. That's the bottom line.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I think we're going to see him play.
I'm sure we should.
I do.
It's bogus. Get rid of it.
Monica, you are dismissed, my dear. Excellent job as always. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of the week.